necessarily those of this radio station, its staff, management, or other sponsors.
Hello, this is the Edge TV Broadcast Saturday show, this week coming to you from the Edge's UK studio, and I'm Andy Radford. The Edge main host Daniel Ott is on holiday this week, and rather than play an archive show for Saturday, we decided to do a correspondence-orientated presentation. This is when you can meet some of the Edge TV broadcast correspondents and get to know a bit about them and the work they do. There's been a lot of work involved to put this show together for you in such a short space of time, and I sincerely hope you enjoy it. Although this show is pre-recorded, the correspondence will be available on the live chat. Now, the live chat can be found on the Edge's website at www.theedgeam.com. Firstly, I would like to thank Edge correspondent Gina Romano for taking over this week's Thursday reports. She allowed me the time to put this show together and speak to correspondents and do some research regarding their subject material. So, coming up in the show, we have interviews and presentations from the following Edge correspondents: Charlotte Leslie, the Edge's environment correspondent; Paul Jamieson, an Edge correspondent who lives in Australia; Stuart Harrison, the Edge's UK New World Order correspondent; and we also have an interview with IndyInAsia, the Edge's political director. If you want to find out more about becoming a voluntary Edge correspondent, just go to the Edge's website at www.theedgeam.com. First on the line, we speak to Edge correspondent Charlotte Leslie. She is the Edge's Environment Issues correspondent, a writer, author and certified organic master gardener and herbalist. She lives in the deep south, and for as long as she can remember, she has loved this beautiful planet. Charlotte says, "It is because of this love I have spent most of my life teaching others about this place we call home. I prefer to be called an environmentalist above all else. In my spare time I do volunteer work with a small group of dedicated and loving people. Our motto is service first to others. We paint houses, clean up playgrounds, take meals to shut-ins, and mostly we teach young people how to care for Mother Earth." Here she is, Edge correspondent Charlotte Leslie, and I spoke to her earlier this week, and following this interview will be Charlotte's presentation, which centres around health, and one of the subjects covered is the MRSA virus, or MRSA, as it's known in the UK. Here she is, Edge correspondent Charlotte. What is MRSA? How do people get it? What precautions can they take against it?
Well, MRSA is skin-to-skin contact-related bacteria. It can come from simply hugging or handshaking or drinking after someone, or sharing makeup or sharing towels, or sharing sports equipment, not washing your hands, or sometimes children pick their nose or put their fingers in the mouth. It's at epidemic proportions in most of the nation's leading hospitals now and nursing homes. Very hard to control. It seems to target the elderly and people with impaired immune systems. The best thing you can do, it's a staph infection. The best thing you can do to control it is to wash your hands thoroughly, have healthcare workers wash their hands thoroughly. Don't allow anyone to examine you without prior hand washing or wearing rubber gloves or latex gloves. It's at this moment it's not responding to most of the antibiotics because the society's overuse with antibiotics.
Yeah.
Okay, and some of the healthcare experts who have relied on the antibiotics are finding that they no longer work, and people who have had bouts of MRSA have the same symptoms over and over again. Sometimes it'll take several treatments with antibiotics to bring MRSA under control, but the best prevention is to not come down with the disease in the first place. And that means that you're going to have to take precautions of washing your hands when you're eating out, when you're visiting people in hospitals. If you're in the hospital and you've had surgery, you should insist that someone wash their hands before they change the dressings on your bandages. If you have open wounds, you should cover that. You should not swim or wade in less than questionable water, because it is a disease, and especially for nursing homes. And should I go on?
There's the Staphylococcus bacteria. I think I pronounced that right. I mean, that's a natural bacteria found on the human skin, isn't it? So something.
Yes, it is.
So it's now starting to attack the human biosystem.
Yes, it is.
As you mentioned earlier, it's more than likely down to the overuse of antibiotics.
Exactly.
A lot of these cases can be found in what are supposedly the cleanest places on the planet. I say supposedly, which are the hospitals, because it's a big problem in the NHS hospitals over here in the UK. I mean, is it just down to the overuse of antibiotics, or do we live now in such a sterile world and environment? We use bleaches, chlorine bleaches, which kill germs, kill bacteria. They also kill the natural bacteria, the essential bacteria. I think it's both. I think it's both. I think it's overuse of antibiotics, and societies that has grown up. The average, say, person 25 to 35 has probably taken antibiotics on and off for just common ordinary viruses or the flu. They seem to be given for a number of reasons, and I think also too it's just, when I was a child we didn't have things like this. We wiped our counters down with just regular, it's this antibacterial